All right, everyone. Welcome to Imperfect Strike. I am your host, Alice, and with me today is a wonderful government employee, Michelle, who has agreed to join us. Thank you for being here, Michelle.
Hi, you're welcome.
I want to ask you, you are currently a member of General Strike US. How did you first learn about the organization?
I'm sure exactly. I think I originally saw something on Facebook, like scroll across my news feed, I think. And I eventually made my way to the website.
Yeah. Okay, so probably social media.
I believe so.
That's surprising to me that it had been on Facebook. Was this a while ago? Was this sometime last year, or was that more recent?
It was more recent. It may not have been Facebook because I had gotten off of Facebook and went to Blue Sky, so it might have been on Blue Sky.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh man, good for you. I am still trying to make that switch myself. How do you like using Blue Sky? Do you like the interface?
I do. I like it. Yes.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you found out about General Strike and what sort of motivated you to learn more? Was it after the election? I mean, what kind of prompted you to say, "Oh yeah, this sounds like something that's for me"?
Well, I think a lot of people were talking about it. It was after the election. I had heard about it before the election. I'm not sure how long ago, and I was interested. And over time passes and you kind of forget.
Hmm.
And after the election, I started digging again to see what I could find out about it when I heard people talking about it.
Yeah, that does seem to be what was the catalyst for a lot of people. So you are in some capacity right now working for the US government, just like I am. What is the mood? How are we living through this? I mean, it's a little crazy right now, isn't it?
It's crazy, and it's been we ha- I can't speak for my coworkers. Some of my coworkers have been cheering this on since it started, surprisingly. But
Oh,
the
wow.
mood for myself, well, I don't think that they believe that they will be affected. The mood for myself has been horrible. I was
Hmm.
in fear for my life. I thought Elon Musk was going to come with his bulletproof vest and his new U.S. Marshals and his guns and was going to come in blazing and just fire us all. And I didn't really believe that he was going to kill us, but I was feeling, it was so much fear. I was paralyzed with fear.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these crazy things start happening. We look back at historical evidence that we have, historical examples, and you just don't know. You don't know how fast things are going to escalate, if it's going to happen to you or, like you said, or your coworkers. But that's wild to me that so your coworkers seem very pro Doge then when all that started happening.
Yeah. And they were making a lot of jokes about it. And I was so hurt and offended. And then when they came to target our agency, they became a little
Hmm.
bit concerned and they started saying all the things that are going on. And I was like, I thought I was going to see a shift. And then Elon Musk then kind of fell off the scene. I think Republicans knew that they had to get him out of the limelight very quickly. And when they did,
Right.
yeah, and they did, they kind of hid him away a little bit. And then my coworkers just kind of went back to, ha ha ha, Doge is cutting everything. And it's hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, yep, they do. Yep.
Wow. So there becomes this temporary fear when it might affect them. And then as soon as that fear passes, it's back to this is all okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite fascinating.
That is very, yeah, indeed, truly. I mean, I have seen I have former coworkers and friends who have been in agencies and offices that have been really targeted, and they still kind of don't know what's going to happen with their offices. I'm hoping to talk to one of them later this week, but do you feel like for your office, the danger of, intense layoffs and RIFs, what do we call it? Reduction in force. The government loves a good acronym. Do you feel like that danger has mostly passed and people seem pretty stable now?
I don't believe it's passed. No. I think that we're talking about it
Okay.
less, but I think that it's happening in the background.
Mm, okay.
Just because it's
Interesting.
not in the news as much, right? Because Elon Musk is off the scene, so everybody's not talking about it daily.
I see. Okay. Is your agency still sending out emails about potential reductions, potential layoffs?
We have not gotten any, but the ones that we were getting, my boss never even talked to us about them, never mentioned them to us. He just acted like it wasn't happening. And um, I didn't know. I answered, when Elon Musk was sending out the 5 bullet points that you have to reply to, I was never even told that I should do it or shouldn't do it, or I just did it because I was afraid not to. And my boss never spoke to me about it. He just acted like it was not happening. He's never spoken to me about the reduction of board. I don't know what's going on with it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oof. Okay, yeah. So for listeners who aren't in government and might not know, Doge did come in and Elon kind of sent out an email to every single government employee saying, what was it? It was like, please tell me 5 things that you did this week to justify your job, basically.
yeah, yeah. It was. I think it was 5 things that you accomplished last week. I think that's what it was. And I
Okay.
was still sending those in. Even some of my coworkers had stopped sending them in and they were making jokes about it and how they weren't going to do it. But I was still doing it because I was afraid not to.
Oh, so it was like a weekly thing. It was something that people were keeping up with.
I was. A lot of people were not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I mean, the fact that leadership did not even address that is insane.
It was, yeah,
I think I think we got some email about don't reply to the 5 things like they were going to take care of it for our whole office. They some I don't know. I just remember seeing the email and then being like, okay, wait, it's out of our hands. But I do remember there was also another email that first came through which just said just respond like, did you receive this email? Do you remember that one?
I do. And I didn't think anything of it. I
Yeah.
responded right to it. I was like, yes, because, and I didn't even notice at first that it was an external email. I didn't notice until I heard other
Yeah.
people saying that they had reported it. I think that was the one they reported, right?
Oh my gosh, that's right, because it didn't come from a real government email address.
Yes. They report a lot of people where I work reported it for phishing.
That's amazing. Well, because yeah, they make us take those trainings every single year on are you getting catfished on the internet, basically.
Yeah, social engineering. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so funny. Right, so people were like, this is clearly fake.
Have you had to have your government ethics training again yet? Because it's, I mean, it's just ludicrous.
I have, yeah.
It's ludicrous. I'm
It's
like, why am I doing this? This has
so
no meaning
ridiculous. I
anymore.
know. I know. I know. Right. Do we even have laws anymore?
Yeah,
The president doesn't think so.
I'm almost afraid that it's just a trap now, and they're trying to trick me, and they've gone in there and changed all the wording, and they're trying to make me do something illegal. I'm like trying to. I don't even
Oh
know what's
gosh.
real anymore. I'm like, what is happening?
Oh, truly. But you're right. I mean, that first week when those weird emails started coming out, the anxiety of it. I mean, the we didn't know if it was a test, like you said, or I was like, are they going to be keeping some giant list of people who do respond and people who don't? And the people who don't are going to be immediately fired. Like no one knew what was going on.
I'm convinced that they did do that, and um, I'm convinced that when they broke up with Elon Musk, then they just were deciding how they were going to move forward. I think Elon Musk did a lot of that really was trying to maybe show them the way. And then after they broke up, they said, oh, we don't particularly like this. Possibly. Of course, I don't know.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Oh, so I mean, are people talking about funding also being potentially impacted for your office? Are people worried about, there's not going to be any money for next year?
I haven't heard anything, but my boss does not keep me informed of anything. So if there is
Okay.
talking, I don't know about it.
Yeah. Which seems all too common for government, to be honest.
Yeah. Um,
And also the divide between true feds, federal employees, and contractors. It's just there's always this weird, like secret aspect to it. I don't know, like you're really in the club versus you're not really in the club.
yeah, and I've never been in their club, and I've, it's always been that way, secretive. Like from me, it wasn't just the Elon Musk thing. It's been that way before that ever happened.
I see. Okay. So that sort of office culture predated the Doge stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Bing, bum, bum. Attention, all listeners. Maeve here on a podcast break. We've got a Maeve Light special as of late August 2025. The General Strike Discord is putting out an open call for educators of all kinds. If teaching excites you and helping others learn comes naturally to you, we want you. Join us in the General Strike Discord and volunteer with us today. Details in the episode notes below. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show.
So how are you doing with all this? Your coworkers seem to be mostly pro, you seem to be very against. Is it just a lot of processing with family and friends? Is it like, are you feeling like you need to leave at some point? How are you doing with it?
It's been very difficult. And I have a lot of family and friends who are MAGA, and I had no one to talk to for
Oh, wow.
probably 5 months. And then I went
Wow.
to the hands off protest and I met some people, and they have literally saved my life. And they have become some of the best friends I think I've probably ever had. And so I'm doing a lot better. And I have considered,
Michelle, that's amazing.
huh?
That's amazing, Michelle. That's really amazing.
Yeah, I was struggling. I was struggling.
I bet.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, it must have felt almost like a conspiracy, right? Like, or gaslighting, or like you are the only one in the sea of people who can see that something's wrong.
Yeah, and I would have my own friends and family tell me that's not going to happen. That's not happening. You're overreacting. You're fear mongering. And I was like, I work there.
Oof. Yeah, right. Yeah, I would know. Thank you very much.
I had one friend tell me a particular email that I got that hopefully was not only my agency. So I don't know if I want to say which one it was, but a more recent email that came
Sure.
out within the last few weeks. And I
Hmm.
told my friend about this email, and they told me that they did not see that on the news and it wasn't true. And I said, I have the email, which I can't send that to them, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, how do you respond to that? Like, I know for a fact something happened. You didn't see it on the news, so you get to tell me no, it didn't.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Mm,
yeah, I was struggling. We'll just say that.
right. Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't imagine. I mean, yeah, my friends and family sometimes don't really know why I still have a job. I don't really know why I still have a job. I think it's seemingly so random why entire offices are getting cut and I mean, random. I know they don't like the idea of international aid particularly, but in larger agencies that weren't entirely cut, it's like why? Why are some people okay and some people aren't? There's just no rhyme or reason to it.
There's not. I think it's totally random. And I think at some point,
Mm.
I think it would have been worse if Republicans did not say we need to get Elon out of here. I think it would have been worse, and I think that's what stopped it was, which is hasn't really been stopped, but I think that that's what slowed it was the fact that
Hmm.
everybody was just furious.
Okay. Oh, so you didn't think so you don't think that he kind of was satisfied with everything he had done and chose to leave. You think he would have just stayed and kept going?
Absolutely, and I think
Yeah.
that somebody somewhere said this looks really bad, and we need to get Elon out of here. And
Hmm.
I think that that's what they did. They either that or maybe they got in a fight and got Elon out of there, possibly.
Right. And he was also probably worried about his stock pricing too, right?
Probably that too. It was a combination of things, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, wow. So you work with a lot of MAGA people, you have a lot of MAGA people in your family and friends. Have you always considered yourself political? Have you always sort of had these political differences with them, the people around you?
Been as political, I voted, and that's about it. I think politics was kind of boring before this,
Hmm.
but before
Yeah.
Trump in general. And I've always been anti-Trump. The first time he ever came on the scene back in 20, it was the 2016 election, right? And
Mhm.
before that, I would say maybe 2015. I had been talking to one of my friends about it who was working on the campaign for Hillary Clinton. And um, I was worried and I was talking to him about it. And he said, "Don't worry, Trump will never win. Hillary will kick his ass." And I remember thinking, "You don't know that." I didn't say it,
Right.
but and I remember the day that he was elected, I cried that day, and I wasn't even sure why, because I really didn't know who Trump was at that time, but I had just heard some of the things that he said, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what, but yeah,
Interesting. But you could tell that he was not going to be a good president or even a good
a
person.
good human. I think we all could tell. I mean, well, not all of us, obviously, but
Right, yeah. No, some 70 million people seemed pretty for it.
right, insane,
But you're right that back then the media did keep telling us. They said it's going to be Hillary, Hillary's going to win. Sure, there's all these people that like Trump, but he'll never get the majority win. He'll never get the electoral college. It's all going to be okay.
yeah, I had a friend who was Republican, diehard. She still is. And back when Donald Trump first came on the scene, she told me that she did not like him and would never vote for him. And then the
Hmm.
man that she wanted at the time dropped out. I can't remember his name, but he
Hmm.
dropped out of the race because you remember with Trump, a lot of people on the Republic, his primary candidates were dropping out, and that's when she
Oh,
became,
right.
yeah, she became full on MAGA since then, since 2016, and has pretty much never looked back. This might have been 2015.
It really has been the craziest people just falling in line, even people who have said, I mean, I'm for goodness sake, JD Vance has said things about Trump is insane, or I don't know, don't quote me on that, but
Right.
he didn't like Trump, he didn't like his policies, his ideas, and it's like everyone just wants to kiss the ring and get behind the powerful man.
Yeah. I wonder if sometimes they don't feel some kind of pressure to do that, like to fit in with everyone that's in,
Mm,
you know,
yeah, definitely. There's definitely a sort of community aspect to it. There must be, right?
I believe there is, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if everyone around you is saying that this thing is the best thing to happen, it's easy. I mean, and it's easier to believe the man emotionally, right? Who is saying you don't have to change. In fact, things were better before all these other people started saying we had to change in any way. Um, change is hard. Change is scary for people, and they don't really want to come into this newer world. They want a world that they've been familiar with for the past however many decades.
Yeah,
Oh, there's just so much to it. I mean, yeah, it's really predictable when you look back at the 2008 housing crash, and whenever there's a recession, there's always this swing towards nationalism. Yay. People are angry.
they are, and people are even angrier now. Um,
They are. They really are.
and they should be.
That's another th well, they should be absolutely true, but that's another thing is there's so much happening. I mean, there's been political assassinations in the last month, and I think a lot of people are barely thinking about that. There's just so much else going on,
I had just absolutely forgotten about that until you said it, because then it's
right?
horrific, and our that's how fast our news cycle happens, and that's how fast this administration is trying to shock and awe us.
Yes, definitely.
No thrones, no crowns, no kings. On October 18th, millions of us are rising again to show the world America has no kings and the power belongs to the people. Find a march, rally, or visibility action at nokings.org.
So you said you're not really thinking that you want to leave. Does it feel a little bit more like resistance, almost to stay at your current job and say, I'm going to stick this out and they're not going to be able to push me away?
Well, I would love to leave actually. I don't think that
Oh,
there's,
okay.
yeah, I don't think I looked for other jobs, but I don't think I'm going to be able to leave because finding another job right now in this economy and with all of the cuts that they just made, everything with the tariffs, I'm afraid to leave. I have no choice but to stay and see what happens. I feel like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people feel that way. They feel a little stuck, even if they did want to leave government. Everyone else is out of work right now. Everyone's looking for a job at the same time.
Yeah, we can't be giving up any jobs, that's for sure. We can't afford to.
Right. Yeah. So when it comes to a strike, does the money part of it worry you a lot? I mean, if we, let's say, just theoretically, in 6 months or 12 months, we have enough people signed up and we're all going to go on strike together, does that worry you that, the paychecks wouldn't be coming in and we wouldn't be able to pay rent or mortgage the way we normally would?
It does, and I think that worries a lot of people.
Yeah. So the strike funds, is that a very important part for you, is building up towards that?
I don't know if I know enough about the strike funds to call. I was not really fully aware of the strike funds. I've been working more towards mutual aid and things like that, which I know would be strike
Yeah. Oh,
funds.
that's
Yes.
great. Oh yeah, mutual aid is going to be crucial. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm very interested in how people have different views of, is the steady stream of money coming in going to be like a deterrent for them versus, more so the mutual aid side, or if we're all doing it all at the same time, then, there's less of a concern there.
Yeah, and the people that I try to talk to about a general strike will say to me, "I can never do that. I'm one paycheck away from losing my house."
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That is stressful. That's a really stressful place to be in. But I mean, that it seems to be most of us at this point, right? Don't they say 50 or 60% of people are only one paycheck away from losing their housing situation or something like
yeah,
that?
yeah. It's terrible. I don't know if we're going to have another option. I think the more people become afraid, I think the more
Hmm.
willing they will be to strike.
I agree with that. Absolutely. And also they'll see the strength in numbers too. I mean, if everyone can't afford to pay their rent, then, there's no option. They can't kick, 300 million people out of their houses all at once.
Yeah. It,
We would, we'd go storm the Capitol, we'd go sleep on the city hall steps until they let us back in our apartments, right?
also, I think the strength in numbers is so crucial because, since January, I told you that I had felt so alone, like I had no one. And it's the people who kept
Yeah.
coming out to protest that finally made me feel safe enough to come out. And that's when I met them.
Wow.
And yeah, and now I'm not even 60% as afraid as I was.
That's so wonderful. I can't thank everyone enough. Everyone who has protested, everyone who has been posting online. People can get into the weeds and start fighting about resistance that's feels more performative, resistance that's more sincere, and I just think there's nothing there's nothing wrong that you can do. I mean, as long as you're doing something, it helps other people. It helps other people to feel more comfortable to take their own steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, a lot of people that I talk to, I feel like, especially where I live in the DMV, come from a more democratic leaning background, but I don't want to assume anything. So, what is your view of sort of, in general, the resistance towards Trump coming from either the Republicans or the Democrats? Do you feel like people are doing their best? Do you feel like they're not doing enough? What are your general takes?
Well, I have been a Democrat all my life. My mother was Democrat, and I really believed that they worked for the people, and I absolutely do not believe that anymore. I think they are
Mm,
corporate bought puppets. And I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's time for a change. Um, I realize that there's very little they can do right now. I realize that. And I know that they
hmm
are the minority party right now. But I also feel that they
hmm
have contributed to this whole situation because when January 6th happened, they should have done everything they could have possibly done to put that man in prison, and they didn't. They literally handed him right back to us.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I think two things can always be true at once. I think it has not been easy to be the minority party, like you said, but also there is so much more they could have done. I mean, you people were saying these are executive orders that Biden easily could have put in place before, he left office to protect women's rights, and I mean just endless amounts of other things they could have tried, could have done.
yep. And they
I think their whole attitude over the past 20 years of, oh, we're not gonna stoop so low and play their game. And in the end, politics always just comes back to sort of a moderate middle stance. It's just been so damaging.
and a moderate middle stance may have been fine if we were dealing with moderate middle people, but we're not. We are dealing with radical extremists, and it's time. It's been time. And I think I've seen somewhere once. It may have been somewhere. Somebody said that Democrats keep bringing cookies to a knife fight, and I believe that that's true.
Oof. Yeah, that's well said.
Yeah, that's not my material,
Yeah.
but
But you're right. It's the rest of us just shaking our heads going, what are you even doing? Like, stand up and fight these guys, please. Just wild.
it's wild. It's been eye opening for sure.
hmm yeah. And I think a lot of us who have been Democrats our whole lives and just have been unlearning, over the last 10, however many years, 10, 15, 20, just unlearning these sort of implicit biases that we were raised on. And then just all this stuff with Palestine last year and just truly seeing how the politicians are bought and paid for by the war machine, and that's
They
that.
are absolutely.
And big oil, I guess. I shouldn't I shouldn't just limit it. They're bought by many people, I
They're
guess.
bought by they are. They're bought by many people, and it,
hmm
we have to get money out of politics. I have no idea how we're going to do it, but we have to.
Yeah. You're right. That's got so many people say that, right? That if we're going to overturn one thing first, it's got to be Citizens United. It's got to get these super PACs out of here.
Yeah. I had a friend that wanted to run for office here not too long ago, and he told me that he needed $5,000 just to file the paperwork.
Oh,
Yeah. And we're a pretty
that
poor
seems
state,
ridiculous.
so
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah, no, the cost of entry is just too high.
yeah. I've heard in Florida it's 11,000 to file the paperwork. I don't know that.
Ah,
Yeah.
11,000. No, 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 no.
Yep, just to file to run for office. Who is that keeping out? Everyone but rich people.
Exactly. I mean, like we were just talking about, if most people can't, afford to live without their next paycheck, no one's got more than, a few $100s in the bank. Yeah, it's just the rich. Only the rich can afford to drop 11,000 on filing some stupid paperwork.
Hello, and welcome to another break. We're coming up to the end of our first season, and while we have focused on interviews, bringing out the human experience with different backgrounds, and highlighting organizations, we want more. If you represent a local group, chapter, or organization and want to share the work you've done, challenges you've faced, and how you've persevered, we want to hear from you. Come share your piece, and let's talk about what you think is needed to achieve a national general strike. Furthermore, we want to start episodes focused on skill sharing and topic highlighting. We want to start creating recorded workshops for people to listen to, with or without materials to include in the episode. If you are interested, please email us at hello@imperfectstrike.live. We will help you construct everything. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
So, I mean, okay, so we agree the Democrats are terrible.
Yes, terrible. Get them out.
It's interesting because some people in the General Strike organization are trying to reach out to their representatives to talk about strike. Will they sign an open letter? Will they promote an open strike? Are they pro-labor? Things like that. And some people have a view more of like, let's not let anyone co-opt this movement. But I almost have this sort of hopeful, sneaking suspicion that they're the ones who are going to get co-opted, Like if we end up replacing Democrats with true, more true leftists, liberals, whatever you want to call them, socialists, I, you know, is that really them co-opting the movement, or is that just us sort of sneakily replacing them one by one?
But the question for me is, will we be able to? Because the cost of entry is so
Mm.
high, and we might be able to do one or two, right? I know a couple of people have filed to run, and you've seen Mom Dami win in New York, and
Yes.
I think that we could do that sometimes, but the cost of entry is so high that we're not going to be able to replace all of them, at least not quickly.
Hmm. That's very true. Yeah. That would definitely not be the only solution, or rather, we might be able to do that, but that wouldn't work quickly enough for what we need
Yeah,
to get the country
yeah.
back. Yeah. What is sort of your primary concern, or what is one thing that you would love to snap your fingers and have it change tomorrow? Is it electoral college? Is it money out of politics? What's really Supreme Court? What's really been bugging you a lot?
Mm, that's a really tough question. Um,
It's hard to pick just one, I
I
know. You
know.
can have a few.
I think if I could snap my fingers and get anything I wanted, I would think that I would want Trump impeached because I think that his cult would go with him. I think his cult would break apart and disintegrate and be infighting, and I don't think they would. I think it would just be the downfall of them. That would,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, that would just be a start, though.
Yeah, definitely. Always just a start. Yeah, I really wonder about that. I think people have very different views on if it really is just sort of this cult of personality and Trump is like the only one upholding it. But now with this Heritage Foundation stuff, I'm like, I don't even know. Does it run so much more deep than we think? I really have no answer for that.
It does. It runs pretty deep, and the Heritage Foundation, in my opinion, is a terrorist group. They're domestic terrorists. They've been planning this for
Mm,
decades,
Mm-hmm.
And when they found
Yeah,
Trump, they knew that they could use him to get into the White House because they knew that people rallied behind him.
right, right. Yeah, he has that, I don't want to say charisma because I don't find him charismatic, but he's got that sort of
Hmm.
cult following, you know,
I found him repulsive.
regardless.
I don't, yeah.
I know.
I guess we could say
Oh,
charismatic.
right. No, yeah, definitely no, not charismatic. He can barely speak. I mean, I always wonder. I mean, the chances of this happening are so, so nil, but I always wondered what I would do if I ever had to like see him across a street or like in the same giant sort of building. I mean, I never would. I never would. There's no chance, but
Right.
I honestly don't know. Like what what is your response? How are people like walking past this man who is turning our country into a fascist state and not throwing things or screaming or, crying? I don't know. I feel like I would have this like insane reaction that I can't even begin to predict what it would
I
be.
know what my reaction would be. I can tell you immediately because you gave me like the visuals. I would completely freeze with fear. I know I would. And I think
Mm,
that
mm,
the only people that are around him, I don't think he's around regular everyday people. I don't think they're walking by him in the street. He's protected. He's only around people who
yeah,
support him.
yeah, yeah. And those people must be really good at convincing themselves that they're not complicit somehow.
They're good at convincing
I
themselves of something.
Something indeed. Yeah, I mean, my other friends who are in government right now, I feel like that's a big topic is like how complicit do we feel in all this? And some of them do say it feels like fighting back to stay in these jobs. They want to keep going. They want to work for the people. Um, I don't know. I honestly, it might change day to day for me. I do feel some level of complicit, but certainly not as much as, people who are carrying out his orders and see him every day, like I feel pretty removed from that.
Yeah, I don't think the people who are staying in the federal government are complicit unless they're actively pushing his agenda. I think the people who stay are serving the people, especially at the Security
Hmm.
Administration, because those checks are not going to go out without them. Those claims are not going to get processed
Yes.
without them.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. There seems to be a big moral difference between someone who's in ICE, for instance, and out on the street rounding people up versus people who are trying to keep their jobs at Veterans Affairs and really take care of people.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. We have been through it, have we not?
I hope, man, I never thought we would be here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people say that. How is it happening here? I've heard people in my office also say, I mean, I work with a lot of conservative leaning people. I've heard a lot of people say, I voted for him, but I didn't want this. And I'm like, my jaw is on the floor being like, it was there in the fine print. Not even the fine print. It was there in the print of Project 2025. How could you not believe that they were going to come in and do this?
they, wrote, they wrote a book about it.
They failed the open book test, Michelle. I can't. I can't deal. We have to laugh. We have to laugh or else we would cry.
Exactly, because I thought I was gonna die for this like January, and I'm like now I'm just like, oh well, I guess if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna be happy before I do.
Oh my God. Truly. I mean, we didn't know. We didn't know if they're going to start rounding up people who post the wrong thing or anything like that. There's all this surveillance. Oh, it's just,
I know,
it's wild.
I
That's
know.
the only thing I can say. It's wild. I mean, yeah, you get up in the morning and you feed yourself and rinse and repeat. How else can you get through it?
That's the guy who made that song about the hostile government takeover. I've been singing that every day since this started, and I still do. I listen to him.
Ah, I love it.
He's great, is he not?
It really is. It's catchy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is so right because it's like you want to talk about it, but you can't because what do you got to do? You got to go to work.
That's right. That's right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Well, you're right that they people who are behind this have been planning this for decades. It's not just been, people like to think, oh, it was Trump. Trump did this whole thing. It's not. It's the media, it's the Heritage Foundation. This has been people, the very first day after Roe v. Wade was passed in America, there were people who were trying to get it rescinded, I'm sure.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only reason I say all that is to say just we're going to show them just how fast we're going to take it back. It took them decades to undo some of our fundamental rights, and we're going to take them back very quickly.
I certainly hope so, and I believe that we are united like we never have been before.
Mm. Hmm. I love that. I feel like a lot of people would say we're divided like we never have been before.
I think so.
But I think you're right. I think the tide is turning.
I think even people on the right are waking up and they are going to be very sick of it very quickly.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think, it's starting to affect their lifestyles. And, when I say like it's not just Trump, this has been going on for decades, but I do feel a lot of people, especially white people, are just starting to feel these things for the first time. And we're realizing that, I mean, some people have known, but a lot of people are realizing that minorities have been living in this constant fear all their life. This is just the country that they live in. It's a different place to be, isn't it?
It is. And it's our responsibility to stand up and stop. If we were asleep before, if we didn't know, that's bad. But
Mm,
now that we know, we have to do better.
yes. Cheers to that. Yeah. Oh, so do you feel like your relationships have changed much in the past 6 months? I mean, it seems like maybe with the coworkers, there's some distance there anyway, and it's not like we're losing friendships over Trump coming in. But do you feel like you're talking to people less? Do you feel more anxious to bring things up that you might have before?
Yeah, definitely more anxious. I have lost some friends that were not even Trump supporters. They were kind of middle of the road and were telling me things like what I was experiencing was not happening. And I kind of had to let some of those people go because I don't think they're malicious, but I don't know what I think about them, but I kind of wanted them out of my life. So, um, and
Yeah.
if it had just happened once or twice, maybe I would think that they didn't intend that and they didn't intend to hurt me. But this was a constant thing. It was every time I spoke, and I was sick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Good for you, honestly. I'm sorry. No one should have to go through that. No one should have to have their own friends telling them that what they're experiencing isn't
Yeah.
real. That's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I always like to end with a little bit of joy, a little bit of levity. So, um, Michelle, how about can you tell me one thing that you've been watching or reading or listening to, music, podcast, some sort of art that's really been helping you through this time?
Um, well, I want to say that my friends have helped me through this time. The people that I have met in the last 5 months or the last 2 months have been the best thing that's
Yeah.
ever happened to me. And we talk about politics all the time. We talk about what's bothering us all the time. Um, they never say to me, I don't want to talk politics. They never say to me, what's happening to you is not real. They say to me, you don't have to hide your pain from me. And
Wow.
Having friends and family is the best thing um, that has happened to me.
Cheers to that. That's wonderful. That's so important. And I'm so glad that you have found people who are listening and there's a real sense of community that you can go through it together because there's nothing more important than that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, Michelle, thank you so much, so much for joining me. I wish you all the best. I'm right there with you where we maybe wish we could leave, but we can't quite yet. But I hope we'll get through this and all be in a better place together.
We will. We will.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. This has been really interesting. I feel like I've learned a lot.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. I'll see you soon on the Discord.
All right.
Bye. Imperfect Strike is recorded and edited by Alice and Maeve. To learn more about the General Strike or to sign your strike card, please go to generalstrikeus.com.